Well, hey y'all, so this is going to be a quick video kind of as a follow-up on last week's video about my core planning system, the things that I absolutely have to have in a planner to stay organized. So this video is going to be about those secondary things, those things that are helpful to me personally, but that I don't absolutely need in order to keep organized. Excuse the bum hand here. Apparently, if you crochet a whole lot, I was filling a bunch of orders in the past couple of weeks, and then rest a heavy water bottle on your thumb, you can injure it pretty badly. So I'm trying to rest it up with this brace. So let me just dive right in. The first thing that I find helpful, this is my index, the first thing that I find helpful to have is a year at a glance. So this is my year at a glance that I did for 2016. I just wrote it in because it's in my bullet journal. So I just hand wrote it. And for me, it's just nice if I can't remember what a certain date, what day of the week it falls on, like my son's birthday. One of my son's birthday is August 12th, and that's a Friday, so I just had to look here. The next one is on the September 13th, so I can look and see that that's a Tuesday. So things like that. I don't reference this all the time, and I could do without it, or I could go into my monthly planner, and I'm sure there's one in there. But this way, if I have my bullet journal open on my desk, then I can flip it to the front and see what day of the week that specific date is going to be. And the next thing, the section that I have in all of my planners, is a long-term to-do list. And these are things that don't go for a monthly to-do, don't go for a weekly to-do. These are things that whenever I have time, I need to get them done. But if I don't have them written down somewhere, I will not remember that I need to do them. I'm going to be honest and say I'm awful at some of these. Create a living will, that has been a to-do for me for 6 years now, since I was pregnant with my oldest. I'm constantly needing to keep updating the baby books. So these are just reminders more than anything for me. I do look at it, and I do try, when possible, to fit things in onto my monthly task or a weekly task to at least chip away with some of these, because some of these are larger projects. But if I do not have it written down somewhere, then it won't happen at all, and I will completely forget about it. So I always want to have, sometimes I have an entire section of to-dos, like in a ring-bound planner, or for a while in a traveler's notebook, I didn't need a full section, so I just had a sticky note that I had well secured on a folder to let me know, so I could keep track of things. And I add to this, and sometimes I cross off. This doesn't have as many of the cross off and has no check-offs because I fairly recently put this in here when I realized I was missing it. So year at a glance, long-term to-dos, and for me personally, something that I need in a planner is health tracking. Obviously, hopefully most people will not need this, but this is my personal secondary to-dos, and what I really need is health tracking. This is my mood tracker. I will link down below my setup video for this, where I really walk through the system and explain how I use it. But I started doing this in November of 2015. And so I have every month since November 2015 that I have kept track. So I have this to look back on, and it's been really helpful. And I absolutely need this in a planner. I've used it in a ring-bound system, I've used it in a traveler's notebook, and I'm using it now in my bullet journal. So those are the three things. I have other collections in here. I have my Level 10 Life collection. I have a spread on hiking and keeping track of different sections. But those are not things that I need in my main planner, not even as secondary things. But the year at a glance, long-term to-dos, and for me, my mood tracking, health tracking section. So link down below if you have a video to show. I'm hoping that some other people will start doing videos to show their core planning system, their secondary. Comment down below for what other things you need or at least like to have. My secondary planning stuff is more my like to have things, that I want to have it with me on the go. And that's kind of key for me, that I want to have it on the go, that I couldn't just put it into another planner where I have a lot of lists, like packing lists and activity lists. These are things that I want to have with me because I never know when I'm going to need to reference them or add to them. So this is probably going to be about the conclusion of my, it's kind of short, a little mini series as it were, of the things that make up my planning system. I may do another video talking about some of those other planners and just additional things that I like to keep track of, but I feel like I covered that some in my planner collection, so I'm not sure what the next video will be. If you want to see what it is, then subscribe so you can stay tuned, and I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.